Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Juan from Greener Grounds Lawn Service here. Rainy day today. I've cut through many rainy days, so it's not something that's gonna stop me unless it's raining really hard, but right now it's really just a drizzle. Anyway, you clicked on this video because you want to know about why I quit my stable full-time videographer job, which was paying me $65,000 a year, to become a lawn care service professional. And I'm gonna get to the main reasons why at the end of the video, so make sure you watch through fully to the end of the video. What led up to the decision, when I knew that it was time to make that jump. Something that I've seen a lot on YouTube videos is that people that are going part-time, they're afraid to make that leap, and I was very afraid to make that leap. I was very anxious when it came to the point of no return. After I handed in my 2 weeks notice at HR, I wasn't gonna go back on my word. So, to give you a little bit of a backstory, I started working as a videographer full-time in 2021, November of 2021. And I absolutely loved it. I started in that company with super high hopes, so many ideas, and little by little, my wings began to get clipped. The creativity, the ideas that I was putting out just kept getting shut down. And some of you might say, oh, well, maybe the ideas just weren't any good. But then down the line, they wanted to revisit those ideas and kind of elaborate a little bit more on it. But at the time of when all of that happened, I was just being shut down, like, oh no, that's not the brand, that's not who we are, that's not the look we're going for. And that's fine. This video is not about creative vision differences, and it's more about how I left that stable, good paying job. I mean, it's not a salary to just shrug your shoulders at, especially raising a kid, having just recently bought a house in 2021. So it's something that really made us it made me anxious to leave something like that. And this is going to be a short video, by the way. It's not going to be anything over 10 minutes. I hope not. So I started lawn care as a side hustle business. It was 2023, and I wanted to try to figure out what my future was going to be like, raising my daughter with my lovely fiance. And I just didn't see videography. Like, I knew that if I was an employee, I was not going to be paid the money that I know that I'm worth. So I started figuring out, okay, let me try to think of a side hustle that's not going to break the bank as a startup. So there's low risk going into it. And if things don't pan out a month, 2, 3 months into it, or I don't see, the potential to develop that business, I'll just, I'll stay laser focused on videography and try to escalate my career that way. So in the past, I had done reselling for like 4 years, and it was good. It was good, but I didn't have any space in my garage or in the house to where I could start stacking up things to resell. So I didn't want to go down that route again. So I started looking into lists of businesses to start in the year 2023. Again, it was January 2023. So by the time you're looking at this video, it's more or less around the same time from when I started the business 1 year ago. And I started looking down lists. Some things required, like a couple $1,000s to start, and that's just money that I didn't have. I didn't have all this extra cash sitting around. So I came across landscaping, and particularly a guy named Keith Kalfas, who I have to say he was the number one inspiration for me to even just try to go after this business, because his backstory, if you don't know it, he was kind of pinned up against the wall, late on his bills, eviction notice and everything, and he decided one day to just quit his job and start his own lawn care business, and now he's well off. So anyway, he talked about how all you really need is the drive, some very basic tools, going door to door, and I saw this like light bulb light up in my head, and I was like, you know what? I've never mowed a lawn in my life more than once, and that's back when I was like 13 years old. My dad forced me to. I hated it, but whatever, that's a teenager mentality. And I said, why not? I went on Facebook Marketplace, looked up used items that I could buy, and I started off very humbly with corded electric equipment, and let me tell you, it was a nightmare. The very first customer that I earned was my friend's mom, who actually happened to reach out to me asking if I knew a reliable lawn care company, and I told her, you know what, I actually just registered my business a week ago, so if you're willing to give me a shot, I'll be there tomorrow morning. And so I was there the following morning. This could be a much longer video. If you guys want the extended version, I will gladly share that, but I'm gonna kind of wrap this up a little bit now. I started growing the business. In January, I earned my first customer, which was my friend's mother, and I think I acquired my second customer sometime in mid-February, and it just started kind of snowballing from there. Just little by little, word of mouth. I was on Facebook Marketplace, just posting like before and after pictures, on Nextdoor, definitely on Nextdoor. And before you knew it, I think it was June or July, I had 20 something accounts, and I was like, man, this is growing a lot faster than I anticipated. I was starting to make roughly about 70% of what I was making in the office, and I was only doing this part-time. So I thought to myself, if I'm making 70% of what I'm making in the office, working part-time, maybe 15-20 hours a week tops, imagine if I went full-time. And I was landing, just aside from regular mowings, I was landing at least one job that was around $1,000, which typically took me like a whole day and a half type of thing. But that's money that in the office, it's a salary. I could work 15 hours and still get paid the same amount, versus if I worked 15 hours to get a job done, I was getting paid like 25% of what my salary was, of my monthly salary, just off of this $1,000 job, just to kind of paint a picture of how much net I was making in the office. So things in the office started getting a little progressively worse. There was a lot of disarray and a lot of disjunction between my boss's boss and myself, and I started feeling like I was getting sort of pushed out the door without them really telling me anything. So the month of August and September, I I started really doing the math, and I had been consistently landing these 1K plus jobs on a monthly basis for the previous 3 months at that point. So I said, you know what, if the company just keeps on growing and this pattern continues where I'm landing at least a $1,000 job extra additional to my mowing, I can expedite my exiting of the company. And so at the beginning of September, I told my boss, hey dude, this is gonna be my last month. The way that I'm seeing the progress of the company as a part-timer, I am going to take the leap of faith and do this full-time, because I need to think about my family and what's going to set me up in the future to be more successful and be able to spend more time with my family. Because if working 20 hours a week, I was making 70% of my salary, if I was to go full-time, I could potentially be making the same amount of money I was making in the office by working 25, 30 hours a week. And that was going to provide me more time with my family. So in September 29th, it was my last day at the office. I started full-time October 1st. By the end of October, I had made $1,500 more than I had made in the office on any given month. In November, I made $3,000 more than I would have made in the office, so I almost doubled my salary for the month of November. December started to slow down, and here we are in January, experiencing my first slow part of the season. I'm actually just pulling up to a customer's house now. And I do have to say, it has struck a little bit of fear in my mind. But I am steadfast that I've made the right decision. I'm sure for a lot of year one entrepreneurs in this industry, when they noticed that slowdown, it struck a little bit of fear in their eyes. But I know that once things start warming up, business is just going to pick right back up. So I'm doing a lot of these apps, GreenPal, Lawn Starter. I'm signing up to Lawn Guru right now, just to name a few out there. If you're going door to door, I tip my hat to you. I don't have that personality where I can go door to door, but if it comes to it, I will go door to door. I have these flyers that I made last year, which thankfully business was just coming in, didn't really have to hand these out. But yesterday was the first day I went and started handing out flyers, and I will continue to do so, because ultimately I made that decision to leave the job that was paying me $65K a year, obviously that's before taxes, into this business where I can, develop it. And in the future, if I want to sell the route or sell the business, and jump to something else, so be it. Just because you start a lawn care company doesn't mean you're going to be in lawn care forever. It could be a stepping stone into something bigger, into something different. But yeah, this is kind of my journey. It's been 1 full year, almost to the day, that I made the decision to start this business. And stay tuned. There's a lot more content coming out. Sorry that this video dragged on a little bit. If you want me to tell you how I was able to do this on the side, develop this side hustle into my full lawn care business, I will make that video. It is probably going to take 30 to 45 minutes to go through, the whole story. How I was going to cut before hours, during lunch, after hours, and yeah, just kind of paint the whole picture. Anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment if you've had a similar story. If you're doing this as a side hustle, how long you've been in the business. What do you typically do? I'm in South Florida. What do you typically do when business slows down? To kind of, keep those finances coming in. I'm still learning so much. This is year one, as I mentioned many times, and I'm so excited for what this 2024 season is going to bring. But anyway, that's it. Peace.